What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today I wanted to run through some quick tips so you can start making better throws in Pokemon Go. This is a companion video to my recent article on GamePress.gg. A link to that, which includes a lot of other extra information, is available in the video description. There's a lot of reasons to throw great and excellent throws in Pokemon Go. And I know a lot of people are getting into them right now and want to know about them right now because of the newly introduced research feature. And that's great. But I want to encourage you to always strive for great and excellent throws. The more you practice, the better you're going to get. And the more pressure that's going to take off of you when you find that perfect IV legendary raid boss. We'll talk more about those Pokemon at the end of the video, but you're welcome to skip ahead if you just can't wait. One of the things my article talks a lot on is finding the perfect Pokemon to throw at. This could mean a few things. This could mean finding a Pokemon with the same stats as the raid boss you want to practice on, like how I went to a Scyther nest before my first EX Mewtwo raid. But there's a lot of criteria to think about, and for my first tutorial, I chose Kakuna. Now, Kakuna's got pretty decent stats, and I don't mean its in-game stats. I mean how far away it is from the camera and how big its maximum circle size is. And it's super common, which means if you get really good at throwing at Kakunas, you can go find a Kakuna anytime you have an applicable research. But what's also really important is that Kakuna has a low catch rate and a low flee rate. And this, especially if you find a high level or boosted Kakuna and you use Pokeballs against it, means that you'll get to keep throwing and, most importantly, keep practicing. But it's not too crazy to get your entire research streak on one Kakuna. The very first thing I'm gonna do in this Kakuna counter is what's called setting the circle. Anytime you hold down on the Pokeball, the bonus circle will shrink. So the goal is to make the circle as small as you can to get the biggest bonus, yet also big enough to ensure that you are going to hit it. The circle starts at 50% at the beginning of the encounter. It slowly shrinks down to 0 as you hold the Pokeball and resets to 100 after reaching its minimum size. So this right here is the size that I have decided to set the circle at for this Kakuna encounter. I could go for a smaller circle, but I've actually already thrown 2 great throws in a row. So we've really got to make this one count. I'm going to keep a still frame over here so you can watch the circle and see that it doesn't change size at all. Now back into the encounter, what we do is we wait for the Kakuna to attack. This is very important because once it's in the attack animation, the circle size cannot change. So once we see this attack animation right here, we are free to curve the Pokeball and make that, okay, less than stellar throw. But you know what? I was playing it safe and it paid off. Okay, it looks like I misremembered that, but you know what? That just means I have some more great curveballs to throw. Now, I don't set the circle and wait for the attack animation every single time. Here's a sequence of me catching a Pidgey. You'll see I just kind of spin the Pokeball, wait for a good opportunity to throw, and release. But I do always aim for curved great throws, because that is going to increase my experience, my catch rate, and my throwing skills. You do want to be careful on raid bosses and streaks though, because they could attack as you're throwing the Pokeball, or perform one of several dodge movements. That's why your safest bet is always to throw during the end of the attacking animation. Sometimes I will also throw my Pokeballs so that they land at the end of the dodging animation. Here I do it twice against a Pidgey, and this is probably my favorite way to try to catch a Pidgey. Doing this still leaves the Pokemon little room to attack or try to dodge again. And there's some really cool trick shots you can get, even like a Ladybug, as it is kind of zigzagging around. That jump-like dodge, though, is only one type of dodge to be aware of. Another dodge type, called flying, is when the Pokemon basically can sit at 2 different elevations. And if you look very carefully as you watch how my finger spins the circle on this Hoppip, I actually follow the Hoppip at 2 different elevations. The top elevation is where I'm aiming to throw if the Hoppip stays up in the air. But then the Hoppip flies down to its original position. And you can see as I kind of track it like I did with the Pidgey, I now revert back down to the bottom of the screen. Another dodge type is a really annoying one. Wailmer is one of the best Pokemon to throw at, other than the fact that he has the most annoying type of dodge. You can still get him while he's on the sides of the screen, but you wind up throwing off all of your muscle memory. For Pokemon like this, and yes, even raid bosses and encounter Pokemon, my biggest advice is to run away from the encounter if you're still in range and there's still time left on the raid clock. You'll then be able to click back on the Pokemon or gym again and reattempt the capture. And that big foul Wailmer will be sitting right in the middle of the screen for your easy throw-ins. I've talked a lot about consistency in throwing, and I think that's super important. And for that reason, and because I didn't want to drop my phone, I invested in one of these. Basically, whenever I'm throwing on my phone, I know my hand's always going to be in the exact same spot. And this consistency really helps me during raid bonus challenges. More to that point, when I am facing a boss like Latios or Latias that can fly up in the air while I'm trying to catch it, I change my grip to this so that my hand and thumb sit slightly higher on the phone. Now that's not going to work for everybody, especially if you're not a thumb thrower like myself. Regardless, your best friends are going to be consistency and practice. These clips here are from some very well-practiced trainers. The T-Tar clip is courtesy Kev from Trust the Cones and GamePress here itself. And the other two were recorded by my friend and resident expert thrower, A-Scales. Now, when it comes to catching raid bosses, one of the most important things is getting that attack timing down, especially for Tyranitar. That guy has very high attack and dodge probabilities, and that information can be found in the same spreadsheet on GamePress.gg. And these three Pokemon, which are three of the best Pokemon that you can catch in the game right now, can be caught with the exact same fundamental throwing techniques, and that is, you want to set your circle, you'll want to wait for the Pokemon to be in the right position, aka if it's flying or hovering from side to side, wait till it's back in the middle. You can force it back in the middle if you need to, wait for it to attack, start your curveball motion as the Pokemon is attacking, and release. And if you keep doing those steps, you can start throwing consistent, great curve, maybe even excellent curveball throws today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.